Hey everybody, this is Donald Tapia coming you live from Covina, California, Los Angeles. Whew. It's been hot out here. I was waiting for it to get a little cooler in the house. I put the AC on. I barely put the AC on. I'm kind of tight with the money, so I don't put the AC on too much. But it's been hot, man. But yeah, it's been today I got some like sad news. When you hear about a childhood friend passing away, it kind of hits you. You kind of reminisce back in the day when you guys were hanging out. And this was his name was Philip, and I remember back. He was a good friend of mine back in elementary school and also junior high school. And we used to hang out all the time. And then, living back in Long Beach, when we were kids, it was all about playing baseball and Nintendo and just playing tag and ditch 'em or whatever. And then, when you get a little older, people start making, other decisions to gangbang or slang drugs. And I remember my friend, he just decided to go that direction. And you just kind of lose contact because, growing up in that kind of area, you get association with the people you hang out with. And I found out if you hang out with the wrong people, you might not make it. There was too many close calls, so I was like, I couldn't do it. But I just remember one story. I didn't see him for a while. It was I decided to go into skateboarding. I was all as my faith was, I was walking with the Lord, because I remember I used to go back. I went to Downey Calvary Chapel when I was like 14, 15 years old. I started going and gave my life to the Lord, and I started skateboarding. I just wanted to get away from just the gangbang mentality and just the drug slanging and I just wanted, and a skateboard's a good weapon if you ever needed one. So it was like, and gangsters really didn't mess around with skaters because I just think you were kind of like dorks or something. So it was kind of a safe thing to do, and I was like, just leave me alone. But I remember one night I was skating in some alley. I remember I was in some office building, something, but there's an alley in the back, and I just remember some guy going, "What's up, fool?" Or there's like, "Let's just get that fool," or something like that. And I was like, dang, and I kind of grew up. I never ran, I don't run, because you run, I don't know, just make it worse, you might as well just face it right then, if they're going to shoot you, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. So I remember craziest thing, it was like about 6 Mexican dudes walking my way, and it was, I was like, oh man, I forgot if I was with somebody. I might have been with somebody, but I just remember them walking, and then all of a sudden I see somebody in the middle, but I couldn't really tell, and then I seen this big smile, and I just recognized the smile. It was my friend Philip. He's a dark-skinned brother, he's just like, and he was with some Mexican dudes. It was like back in the day, that was like unheard of, it's like you stayed, usually black, if you were black or whatever, you'd be a Crip or a Blood or something like that, or if you're Samoan, you were Blood, but he was with Eastside Longo. That was one like really big Mexican gang there, and he had the whole, what's up, fool, the whole thing, man. I was like, what? And he goes, Donald, and I was like, Philip. And I remember he was carrying like one of these little mini bats, and I was like, I was I was happy. I was relieved. I was like, oh man. And then I was like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, man, this is weird. And I said, where you been? And he's like, oh man, I've just been, doing my thing. And I was like, I haven't seen him for a few years. And I just remember him, he said something about, oh man, if you were somebody else, we were gonna rob you or something. And I was like, dang. And then, but then he told all his homies that was with him, because he was like, I think he was like leading them or something. I don't know. He said, don't ever bother this dude right here. That's my people, or something like that. And he came up to me and he's like, man, if you ever have any problems in the streets, with somebody, hit me up. And I was like, dang, but I mean, I think him, and I thank the Lord, for putting people like that in my life, because growing up in that kind of environment, for me, it was like who I knew kept me out of trouble. It was like I used to help out a lot, like fixing people's bikes and skateboards, and if you needed something like an inner tube or something, or you need anything, I'd come to my house and I'll fix it. But I would fix, like, I don't even know some of these kids, but sometimes I'll be out in the street and some guy would roll up on me, and then the little brother would come out and say, oh no, that dude hooked me up, man. He fixed my bike and just saved me. I don't have to, it's like, leave him alone. And they, I'll have like a bunch of, just like everyone's a homie. So, I thank the Lord for just giving me that mind to fix the things to help me out. So it's just sad, I remember if you see my Facebook post, I got, let me put this picture up. I'm all talking, you guys just seeing that downtown LA skyline. That's a nice skyline though. Let's see, there we go. Let's see what we got here. Oh, there we go. So I got all these cameras now. I got like 4 cameras. I did all this configuring, trying to do, because I'm trying to do, I've been streaming for a long time. I mean, if you go into our YouTube archives on GHM TV, and it's weird, I didn't even know I have so many GHM TV, pages, like different, I don't know what I was doing when I was back in the day. I had GHM TV 1, GHM TV, GHM Live, and all these different, and I bet you everyone's like, where do I go? But our main GHM TV page has like 103 subscribers. I'm trying to get these videos, like I'm recording this one, I'm gonna post it up to my GHM TV. My last videos I did, I was just just kind of practicing the stream, making sure everything's kind of working. But I'm trying to make it more professional now. It's like we're all moving to 1080p. People are going to 4K, and they got all these high-tech cameras, and they're spending, you spend a lot of money on these cameras to make it look professional, But I spend my money on other things. I'm not. I just want to use what I got. I spent money on these cameras, but these cameras are like probably good 3 or 4 years old. And I just got this computer, but it's not. It was used on eBay, and I think it's like 16 gigs. And I had to do a lot of configuration of seeing what was going to work fluid, and not have it so glitchy, because that really bugs me. And just the picture quality. Like right now I'm using the internal camera, so it's only like 720p, and that's all right. But I would, I'd love, because I watch YouTube on a big TV, and it's nice to see a good video. But also I like the good sound quality too. But yeah, so it's been when you hear someone pass away and you're getting older, like I put it on my post, it's like I'm almost gonna be 50 now, and it's just like, people, that was funny because people thought it was my birthday that day, but I was just like reflecting, like how fast life is, Like my father, he passed away when he was 67, and I'm thinking, man, like, and I got 17 years, like, if my father, and then I have aunts and uncles. I have one aunt, one uncle. They died at 50, and it just makes you wake up, like, to how fast life is, and what you do here, and the day-to-day things, and you do, and are they meaningful? It's just very eye-opening to me. You look in the mirror and you see that, you see more gray hair, and you're like, you see more wrinkles, and you're like, and when you were like 18 or 19, 20, you thought you heard 50 years old. It's just crazy to me, because you hear 50 years old when you were back in the day, and you thought, man, that's so old. 50 years old, that dude's old. But then when you get there, I don't know, it doesn't feel that old. Yeah, my mind kind of slips sometimes, but I still feel young. I mean, I still can move around, and praise the Lord that I can do it, still. But it's just, I don't know, it's a realization that you're half a century old, and just like, and you're closer to death than you are when you just get one more closer to death, to seeing the Lord, and so it's just eye-opening. And then now I'm starting to hear, here and there people are passing, and my age, and it's just like you're losing people now instead of gaining people. So it's just an eye-opening thing, and it just has you reflect of like thanking the Lord that you've made it to where you are now. And if you don't know the Lord still got something for you. I mean, he's still guiding your path. He wants you to come to you. He wants you to he's already come to you, but you have to just come to him and just give your life up. And it's just I remember another thing I was looking at. You ever go on Facebook or Instagram and you look at people's profiles and see what they post and stuff, and what their hobbies, and then I posted a picture because I was like, man, I wish I got to see some of these people's what they look like now, because I remember in grade school or when I see them in their 20s, but I don't know how they look now. And it's always interesting to see how somebody has aged. And I was like, man, I don't got no pictures on my page. So I was like, well, I better put something on there. If I'm gonna say something about someone else, then I'm gonna put someone else's. I want to put my picture at least. So I put my picture, and I'm like, I don't like putting my picture up there. I'll be like thinking I want to delete it, But I was like, you know what, I'm gonna keep it up there, because you gotta show yourself sometimes. It's like, but also I was thinking, I was looking at the posts, and it's like, everything is about Jesus. I was here, I was there, I made a track with Jesus, this and that, Jesus. I was like, man, this guy, if I look from a distance, I was like, man, this guy's a Jesus freak. And I was like, I'm just a regular dude, but it's just, I wake up thinking about the Lord, and I go to sleep thinking about the Lord. It's like all day. If I'm making music, I'm like, Lord, what do you want? How are you gonna? What do you want? I want you to be right there with me, whatever I do. And it's like having a relationship with somebody. You want to be with them all the time. And I was like, man, I just want Jesus there all the time. I'm not the perfect guy, I've tried to walk away from God. I mean, I'll be honest. If you guys heard me on another post, I just stopped smoking weed like maybe a year ago. I was in the clubs, going back to raving again. I was like trying to do it again because I was hurting. And I thought, oh man, I was kind of lost. I was lost. I was like, oh man, I was like, God don't want me no more. But even through that time, God was right there. I would feel the Holy Spirit all the time convicting me, telling me, you're not doing right. You're not doing right. You're not doing right. The only way you're going to get right is you got to get all that stuff up. You got to come back. You got to start doing what you were doing back in the day. Start preaching, start loving, start loving people and sharing your testimony, sharing who God has made you, stuff like that. You're going to be happy if you do that. So I was like, you just, I don't know, sometimes you wonder how people perceive you. And, it's just, that's just that's how I am. I'm just a regular guy, struggling, working, 9 hours, 5 hours, 5 days, 9 hours a day. And I come home and, maybe make some beats and get into the Word and talk to the Lord and do my thing. But so that's another story. I know how I always get up to rambling, but I hope you guys enjoy it. It's like, I just want to be real. I was thinking about it today. I go, this is like a podcast, it's like you hear these mixed podcasts and you never hear the DJ speak. You kind of wonder who they are. Sometimes I do. When I see a DJ up there, it's like, man, I heard like him play 100 sets. I know what he plays, but who is he really? Like, who is this guy? Or who is this girl? Or, and I just want to share a little bit about me because, I'm just a regular guy, I'm just struggling like the rest of you guys. But this is what I do. And I was like, I'm going to start speaking more. I don't really like speaking on the microphone, but it's on my heart to do it, because when you speak about the Lord, it gives you peace, because you know who you are. Sometimes you it's not like you forget, but when you speak it again, like what the Lord has done for you, it gives you that encouragement to keep on moving forward. So I was, as I see in the post, I was gonna debut a couple. I was mixing these 2 tracks down. I did a little fast master on them. If you guys are wondering what kind of software I use for most of my productions, FL Studio. That's the DAW. And then for like software, I use Isotope and also Waves. What's that? SSL, the compression, a few plugins, but mostly Isotope. I do most of the masters, I master like almost all my stuff. But on these tracks, I was going back to I was looking at some of my old tracks when I first started, like back, what is it? I put my first track out like in 2014, and I wanted to see the plugins I used because I felt I sounded like it was more crisper to me. The bass was not so muddy, and I just felt like it was just more quality, and the instruments popped out better for me. I'm really hard on myself, and I really like try to make the best music as I can. And sometimes I feel like I didn't reach the mark, but these ones I did. I used FL Studio multi-band compressor on individual tracks. So if I had like a kick or snare, I would use the multi-band compressor, and it seemed like it gave me a flexibility to cut out the lows and boost the mids, and give it a more flexibility to manipulate what I wanted to pull out of the sample to stick out of the mix. I mean, not stick out of the mix, but so every instrument can be heard and not be muddy. So that's what I was using for these tracks. So we'll just get into the tracks. I played this one before on a podcast, I think 2 podcasts back. It's I haven't even named it yet. I was gonna call it Interview with the Demon, or Interview with the Enemy, or something, but the sample is from the movie Nefarious, and just to say, like, not a lot of people, but some people have come up to me, or they go, "Oh, your music's so dark, you say you play the gospel, and it's like." But when I started, when the Lord put it on my heart to even DJ, because when the Lord called me back into ministry, I had a hard time of what a DJ is supposed to do, like, because I want to remember was when I was DJing. I mean, when I was in the dance floor, I was doing drugs, I was partying, sometimes I didn't even know what I was doing, it's like, and then being a DJ, I was like, well, am I gonna feed that again? Is that where what am I gonna do? And I'm a believer, it's like, am I gonna go like that? So I was very hesitant to come back to DJing. I kind of laid off for a while, and the Lord came to me. He's like, he told me, it's weird. The Lord speaks to me. I'll be in the house, and I can hear. Holy Spirit just comes up and just tells me things. It's like, say, if you're gonna do this, it's gonna be hard. That's what he told me. And he says you're gonna have to do it my way, and you won't be playing out in those clubs. That's just and the way you see DJing as you see it when you were out raving, it's probably not going to look like that, and it's going to be hard because you're going to put me first, and you will not be accepted, and you will be probably by yourself. There won't be many that will do the same thing that you're doing. So I was like, okay, well, I was happy the Lord, gave this gift of DJing and, production. But when and then another thing he told me was, just like my label, my first label, Tech the Truth Records, he's like, you're going to tell the truth, like, from biblical standpoint, because, you hear a lot of gospel music, and it's mostly uplifting, talking about, love of the Lord, believe in him, it's very, very uplifting and about love, but God is love, but you have to remember God is holy, and we're not, and there's judgment coming upon us, and we have to realize that there is a hell, and a lot of people are going to go in it. It says in the Bible that the road is wide that leads to hell. It's like to death, to eternal damnation. It's like, but the road to him is narrow. So we have to put that in mind, that the Lord, when he judges, that's it. It's final. He doesn't go back on his word. When he says he's going to do something, that's it. You see it with Noah. He said he's going to wash out the earth. Only people that were left was him and his family. He's not playing, And the tracks I produced through the years, like Beloved, Where Are You Going? It's like, there's truth, of where are you in this world? Where are you standing? Where's your spirit going, eternally. And this one, I took a part of Nefarious where he's talking about the carpenter who is Jesus Christ. It's so crazy because they don't want to speak his name because his name has power. You can't say Yeshua, you can't say Jesus because his name has power. So they just call him the carpenter, they call him the enemy, or they call God the enemy. And it's just as a demon telling a human that Jesus paid it all on the cross. And as it reads in Revelation that, at the end, Satan will be put in the lake of fire. But what he's trying to do right now, he's trying to get he wants to send as many people to hell, many souls to hell as he can. And the way people are going to hell is not because it's because of him, but it's because of the sin that the people are doing. They'd rather live in their sin than live in Christ and accept that the blood will cleanse them and walk away from their sin and walk a godly life. And that's what this track is. It's Jesus paid it all, but people still want to be their own gods and try to live their life the way they want to here. So let's just get into this. I know I talked a lot this time, but just like I was saying, it's good to know some people, and something I might share might bring some encouragement to others, or the mistakes I've made, you won't make them. Or you hear something about the word, or you hear something about the Lord, and you be curious about it, and you want to read, start, hey, maybe I should go stop over at that church and see what's going on. Because, I'm telling you, God is real. Like, if I told you stories of the things that has happened in my life, it's like, you probably wouldn't believe me. It's like, when we do the Share the Love podcast, when we start talking on the couch and we start asking questions, to each other, we start talking about these things, about how the Lord has directed us and the miracles that He's given us and things like that. Because I know a lot of people, they don't see what God's doing because they don't have their eyes open. That's the whole thing. Because if you looked closely at everything, that your job, where you're at, even if you're homeless and this and that, sometimes God will direct you in that way to open your eyes. So, I hope it always, with the things that I talk about, relate to people. Just to have an interest in the things of God and not this world, because we're just so involved in this world because it's all we see. So we have to live in the Spirit. So this one is the first track, and then the second track is it's more of a tech. This is like a tech house, techno tech house kind of a track, or maybe like you could probably deep minimal maybe. But the second track's more techno. It's called Praise Jesus. I'll tell you, like, my favorite producer, my all-time favorite producer is Mr. G. Mr. G, if you guys want to look up Mr. G, oh man, Mr. G's tracks are, it's like, when I started grooving back in 92, 93, when I first started out, it was mostly like, first thing I was listening to was mostly vocal house. And I didn't even know like there were genres. I didn't even know there was techno or house. I would just say, is that DJ going to play some of that harder stuff? Or or is he gonna play that singy stuff? That's how I would judge a DJ of what they would play, and I would be like, is that singy, or is it gonna be hard, or what's he gonna play? But when I heard Mr. G, I think the first track I ever heard was either Who Knows or Lights Out, G's Dub. Both of those tracks are, man, especially Who Knows. I think they got that sample in there. Oh, it's really good. You guys got to check it out. But I just love the way he produces, because he's a minimalist. He just, back in the day, the music wasn't so fancy, like I guess overproduced, like people would say overproduced. I mean, now you got, I don't know, people love these builds that comes every 3 minutes or something, and it builds up to something else, and I just feel like we have no attention span anymore. Like, we can't even our music, we just like, oh, let's flip through it. Oh, stop, man, you want to listen to that build right there, it's like, oh man, back in the day it was a groove, you just get locked in and you're just stuck in it, and you're just like, oh man, it was, and that music that, it was just simple. It wasn't very busy. It just had a, good bass line, maybe an acid line or something like that, and you're just like grooving. So I try to, I try to split the difference, it's like, because I've had lots of people say, oh, your music's kind of boring. It doesn't go nowhere. That's what they tell me. It doesn't go nowhere. And I'm like, where's it supposed to go? If you're a good DJ, this music is like to play with other music. If you're a good DJ, you can build momentum off of tracks. You don't have to have a build every 5 minutes. You don't have, the DJs I've seen the best DJs is the ones that can put their tracks together. You don't have to have all this fancy, mixing 3 tracks at the same time, or mixing a build in and then dropping it out and all that stuff. Just have that groove and have them build on top of each other. Your track selection is key to me, because you can, you keep, people, good DJs will take you on a journey, and then, you have DJs, I always get on these tangents, but I just got to say, you have DJs that, like, oh, I play for the crowd. I read the crowd and this and that, and I read them, and I was like, how do you know what the whole crowd wants to hear? I don't get it. I don't get that. Like, you playing, some Latin stuff, or, you playing something like that, and, half of them want to listen to some hard tech house or something, but they're dancing because they're like, well, since I'm here, but I'm reading the crowd. When I hear a DJ, when I go by names, it's like, it's going to be Doc Martin or Steve Loria or somebody, or Carl Cox. I know what I'm going to get into. It's like, it's going to be some techno. It's going to be some, and I love DJs that put their sets together. Because I want to be, I come to see you. I want you to, take me on a journey, to, just somewhere that you've been, and I want to experience it again. I'm like, whoa, and I always think of this house music as, it's, like people always like. This is another thing. People ask for like track lists and stuff like that. I rarely give track lists out. I never put, you'll see it on YouTube because they have algorithms that put track lists. Because when you have track lists, people copy you. I had people copy my whole set and play it. And I'm thinking, what's the use of that? It's like, there's no originality in it. It's like, this stuff is so, this is like exploration music. There's so many different sounds, That's why I love it so much, because it's not stuck with the guitar. I like guitars, I like piano, I like all the basic instruments. But when you can make like just the sound of a trash can lid, or anything like a whoosh as like a sound or a noise, or it's so interesting to me. And when people play, I never Shazam people's sets or anything. I was like, you found a cut, that's great, that's the cut, that's your cut. But I don't want to be, sometimes we do play the same cuts, and because we have the like minds, we like same music, and we just stumble upon each other at the same music. But I don't purposely just be like, oh, gotta have that track, because he played it. Nah, I don't care. I'll play stuff, old stuff, new stuff. If it sounds good to me, then I'll play it. But that's just another story. Okay, so this one is the Nefarious, and then the next one's Praise Jesus. It's more of a techno track. So let's get in the music. I've talked enough. All right, here we go. In the comments, tell me how you like these tracks. I always like to hear feedback.
Praise Jesus.
are sometimes prescribed to treat medical conditions such as narcolepsy, ADHA, and chronic fatigue syndrome. Abusers use them recreationally and to enhance performance. They are often called speed and whiz. Tolerance develops rapidly for abusers, resulting in increasing drug doses. Increasing doses results in increasing toxicity. The potential for psychological dependence is high.
Whew. Man, I always go a little longer. Was it, dang, 10, 12? Oh, man. I was always like going to make like an hour set, and then all of a sudden I just... And funny thing is I was just going to play on 2 decks and then, usually do like voiceover samples on one side, and then I started playing on all 4 decks, and I was watching one of my old videos, like when I had my long beard and looked like Duck Dynasty, and I was like, man, that guy he's good, because he can play on. I was playing on 4 decks, like smooth. I was like, man, I forgot how to play on 4 decks. Like, it's been a while since I can juggle 4 decks and go back and forth. So I was like, I think I could do it again. So I know I kind of made a couple of mistakes, and man, one of them came out with a loud volume, and I was like, oh, dang. But I had a good time. If you ever look at these decks that I got right here, these ones at the end, like these are Pioneers 900s, and these are, let me turn this down a little bit. Well, if you like this cut right here, it's off of a 4-pack release called, it's in Spanish, Viva, no, I don't speak Spanish that good. Viva Miento. It's by Samuel Zamora, and that's my remix right there, the Muse remix. But all remixes are good. We got a remix from Chris Million, and also Godtech, and it's from Samuel Zamora. You can get it on Beatport and TrackSource or whatever. But it's a really good release. It's off of Techno Truth Records. But I was so happy to get these things working again. These things are Pioneer, okay, there's a big, I see a big argument about Pioneer buying up all of the turntables. Like, they just took out Serato, they just bought Serato. And, Reloop came out like, I think these are 2010. These are the RMP3A, and I think they got a RMP4A. They had one more model. And these things, oh my gosh. I mean, just the technology they had and what Pioneer gives you is no comparison. It's like, to me, it's like Pioneer's like Apple, where they'll just come out with one little update or something added on, and then they'll charge you another $1,500 or, whatever for the next phone that comes out the next year. I feel like that's how they are. But Reloop, they just said, we're going to throw everything on one deck and have it cheap. So these things were like $600 a piece. And you know how much these are just 900. So I think I paid like $1,500 or something like that. I use like $1,500. It's like, but I bought them because, a lot of people come over and they're used to Pioneer, so they're like, I don't know what the Reloop is. But these Reloops, I'm telling you, if I know you guys can't see, but it has all these effects. It has like built into this deck. It's so awesome. I mean, like skid, filter, phase. I use filter in the mix. It just filters it out. And the crazy thing is, when you use the filters like echo, you can adjust you can press Y, this Y, and you can actually, or X, I think it's X. Look at X, and you can actually, oh no, I got the wrong, what am I doing? It's on this one. But you can actually, I'm playing the wrong thing. You can actually you can change the rate of the actual filter. And you can push hold, so if you like it right there, let's just go something real quick. Okay, so let's just stop this real quick. Okay, let's just put, because I love this sample. Skip Heidzig right here. Where is this at? Let's see. Let's play this real quick.
In order for us to glow in the dark,
Okay, so that's
we need
echo.
to get charged off
And then
by a
you
light
can
source.
adjust the
We need to have
parameters.
fellowship with the sun,
Let's go down a little
S-O-N,
lower.
if we're going to
Reflect
reflect like the moon.
So it'll play again. Let's see. This is loop it.
You abide
Oh, there's
in my word,
the next
then
one.
you are truly disciples of mine, and you shall know the truth,
You hear that?
and the truth shall make you free.
You can adjust the echo. This thing is awesome. I mean, let's just loop that. Let's go back.
You abide in my word, then you are truly disciples of mine. You abide in my word, then
So,
you are truly
look at this. Okay, so you got echo, and you can add a second one, filter. Can you believe that? And you can adjust. Look at that. Transformer? Come on. All built in. That's 3 filters put on one thing. You got pan with echo. Oh man, it's ridiculous. And adjust the parameters. Look at that. Just another couple of features. It has, because like Pioneers have plus or minus. Their lowest setting is plus or minus 6. They just straight got plus or minus 4. I'm talking, you can get that thing accurate. And they have a pitch bend right here. So if you don't like touching the jog wheel, and you just want to just bump it a little bit. And this thing is unbelievable. They just threw all kinds of stuff on this thing for super cheap, and they're super durable. Only thing bad was I had them for so long. When I first got them, they had this coating on them, like a rubberized coating on it. It was pretty cool. But after so many years, it got real sticky, and I was like, man. Like when you would play on them, like your fingers would stick to the whole thing. You couldn't even around the jog wheel, it was like all sticky and all this. It had a bunch of like lint on it. Oh, it was bugging me. Then I was scared to wipe it because I thought it was going to wipe the paint off. Where it has like track and all the lines for the pitch control and all this everything. I thought I was going to wipe it off, but I was like, man, I've been sitting in the shelf and I was like, man, I really love those CD decks, and I wanted to use them again, but I just said forget it. I just bought some what is that, Goo Gone or something, and I just started wiping it, and all that stuff just wiped off of it, and it came out all nice and shiny, like brand new. Sweet. These things are so sweet. They're so easy to use. Only thing, it doesn't have a the LCD visual waveform, but if you mix all the time and you did vinyl and stuff, you don't need visual indicators anymore. You could mix off anything. You just got to know your tracks and how they're built, with the breakdown and all that, but you can get past that real quick. It has loop. Only thing kind of bad is their loop is they don't have it quantized. It's not really quantized that well. It's it has a BPM reader and it says sync and all that, but their BPM we're still working on it. I mean, you can't imagine, this is 2010 and they were throwing everything at it. It has, look, you can even back in for $600 you can actually link 2 CDJs. So I was using one USB drive, and you could use CDs. And it was also, you can use it for a laptop too. You can MIDI map it. It's, just the layout. And it has like folders and stuff. where you can go through folders real fast. What else this thing got? It has sample banks. You can store samples if you like, during your mix. I gotta get used to doing that so I can put like a bunch of samples and play them back. But also has a headphone jack and some other. Let me see what else is it. And it has a headphone jack. I think that's about it. But I love these reloops. I have some CDJ 800s. They're all right. I remember playing all the way back. You can see some of the original videos of Afterglow. I was playing on a CDJ 100. Woo, man, that thing, the little jog wheel, that thing was crazy. It's like it had no control. It had no like vinyl control. So you had to press start, you had to press play, and then you had to forward it real quick. Yeah, that thing was tough to play. But once you got used to it, it wasn't so bad. But they have come a long way out. If I had the money, I would buy CDJ, the 3000s or something. Keep up, and then buy that big old. They got that 10-channel mixer or whatever. They got that huge one. But I'd rather get I like the what is that? The Rain. That Rain is the Rain with the knobs. I forgot what model that is, but I like that one with the wood on there. But this one, I gotta say, man, pioneered these mixers. I got it's so old, DJM 3000. I mean, people come over and probably like, this guy's spinning on a relic. But it doesn't have all the effects and stuff. But I just love rotary. I love the feel of this, being able to control it. I don't mind sliders. You can pop in and pop out, but there's just something with controlling the volume real. You can smooth. It's really smooth in mixing transitions. And I remember Pat D was saying, because my crossfader's been out for a long time, for years. I never used a crossfader, so I'm like, I don't want to spend no money. Then Pat was like, I wish I had this crossfader working. And then I'm like, maybe someone else will come over too, and they'll be like, this crossfader don't work. So I bought another crossfader. Let's see what else. That's it. Well, I hope you guys had a good time. If you guys, if you guys are still listening, put a comment. I'm trying to get back to my old style. Like, I still want to do, I'm still doing Share the Love whenever Pat comes over. But, I'm doing the Tech and the Truth, Los Angeles. If you ever guys wondered why, like I always had like a multi-visual, like multimedia kind of a thing where you have music and visuals. Because I always remember, like, back in the day, when you used to go to the raves, they used to have all these visuals, but it always, it was always, it kind of reminded me of like it was trying to hypnotize you. And, or bring you to some like kind of journey, but I was like, man, how about if you had visuals that actually tell you how to come to God, or, something scriptural, or, something that you could take with you and you can wonder about, maybe if you don't know the Lord and you're just like looking at these visuals and you're like, wow, is that what it's about? But yeah, that's why I put these visuals. I got all these, if you ever wonder where I got this stuff, I get it off YouTube. I was searching for animation, how to spread the gospel and animation and just different things that are like just interesting. And, just because I know people are watching you DJ, like especially online, and it's like sometimes you get bored, it's just like, oh yeah, it's a good set, whatever, but when you're watching them DJ, but also have something that that fills their spirit too. So all right, till next time. I don't know when next time will be, but I hope the stream came out good, like wasn't glitchy, didn't drop out, because man, I was really practicing on these settings and trying to get them so they're, I was, trying to get them where they were very fluid. My center camera that's on the mixer is actually, you can tell it's kind of glitchy. It's an old, that's an old camera. It's an old, so you could tell that it's not. I'm going to try to get some more of these. These are Logitech's 1080s, maybe one more, and then I can have it. And cool thing is I can have now, since I got the settings good, I can run 3 cameras consistently, so you can get different. Only reason I have like all these angles put up at the same time, because it's hard to, I'm not the kind of mixer that just plays a song and then, just chilling, I'm ready to get on the next track, and I'm ready to put samples and give you, a mix, like a mix I would play like out, if I was going to play somewhere, like something good. I don't want to just play one track and then wait till it ends. Yeah, sometimes I do. I feel like, oh man, I got to the breakdown again. But I don't like to rush it sometimes, because I like to, mix out smoothly. But I just want to give you guys some good mix. I can't, when you see me on the chat, I'm not really on the chat a lot, because it's hard to concentrate when you're mixing and then trying to talk, and then, where you're at, and then you let the song play out too much, and you're just like, oh, I'm behind, and I don't want to be like that kind of guy. I just like, I want to give you a good mix, something really good to, if you want to crank it in your house and bump and get dancing and stuff, do it, So, that's all. Okay. Well, good night, guys. God bless. If, you know what, I'm going to get some more stuff ready for next show. I got some new things I'm going to add to Teching the Truth. And just have a blessed night, and, thank the Lord for what you have, and, keep seeking Him. Just wake up in the Word, go to sleep in the Word, and live, when you have that continuously, your mind and your spirit will be blessed. I guarantee it. So have a good night. God bless everybody. Love you guys. Bye.